Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, you hear something strange inside your house. You slowly open your bedroom door. And then, you see someone standing in the dark. Now imagine that person has already killed someone in your home, and somehow, they get away. That is what happened inside the Percy family home in Kenilworth, Illinois. In the early morning hours of September 18, 1966, 21-year-old Valerie Percy was murdered in her bedroom. Her family was inside the house. The killer had entered their home. They were close enough to see him. And yet, almost 60 years later, nobody can say for sure who that person was. No conviction. No confirmed killer. Just evidence, theories, and one question that refuses to go away. Who killed Valerie Percy? Before that night, Valerie Percy was just a young woman living a normal life. She was 21 years old. She had graduated from Cornell University. She was close to her family. And she lived in a wealthy neighborhood in Kenilworth, just outside Chicago. Her father, Charles Percy, was a successful businessman and a rising political figure in Illinois. The Percy family lived in a huge 17-room home. From the outside, it looked safe. Quiet. Almost untouchable. And that's what makes this case so disturbing. Valerie wasn't attacked on some dark street. She wasn't walking home alone. She was inside her own house. With her family sleeping just a few rooms away. That night started like any other night. Nobody in the house knew that before sunrise, everything would change. It was September 17, 1966. The Percy family went to bed. The house became quiet. And sometime during the night, someone got inside. Investigators later believed the intruder entered through the lake side of the house. There were signs of forced entry. But here's where things get strange. The killer didn't simply break in and run. The person made their way through the house. Up the stairs. Toward Valerie's bedroom. And at some point, Valerie woke up. What happened next would become one of the most disturbing parts of the entire case. Because someone was inside that house. Someone was standing beside her bed. And that person was about to change the Percy family forever. Valerie's mother, Lorraine, suddenly woke up. She heard something. At first, she didn't know what it was. Then she heard Valerie. She got out of bed. And when she looked toward Valerie's room, she saw a man. He was standing beside Valerie's bed. The room was dark. His face wasn't clearly visible. And then, the man noticed her. For a moment, they were looking at each other. Lorraine later described seeing the intruder holding a flashlight. Then everything happened fast. She ran to wake Charles. The family realized something terrible had happened. And the intruder was already trying to escape. He rushed back down the stairs, and disappeared into the darkness. By the time police arrived, he was gone. Police cars rushed into Kenilworth before dawn. Officers surrounded the Percy home. Detectives went inside. And what they found turned the house into a crime scene. There were signs that someone had entered from the outside. Investigators photographed everything. The doors. The windows. The hallway. Valerie's bedroom. Every little detail could matter. Because the killer had been inside that house. That meant there had to be evidence. And there was. Investigators found fingerprints. They found a bloody palm print on the staircase. And they found other clues that suggested the killer had moved through the house. Then came one of the strangest discoveries. A military-style bayonet was recovered from Lake Michigan. Investigators wanted to know, was this connected to Valerie's murder? Or was it just another dead end? The investigation exploded. Detectives questioned people across the area. They looked into Valerie's life. They looked into her father's political connections. They checked possible motives. They followed tips. And they chased suspects. But every promising lead seemed to hit a wall. The problem was simple: someone had entered the Percy home. Someone had attacked Valerie. Someone had escaped. And someone knew enough about the house to get inside. But investigators couldn't put a name to that person. The case attracted enormous attention. Newspapers covered the murder. Reporters surrounded the Percy home. And the question became bigger than just one family. How could someone commit a murder inside a wealthy suburban home, with the family right there, and still disappear? Over the years, theories began to pile up. Was it a random break-in? Was Valerie specifically targeted? Did the killer know the family? Or was there something about Valerie's life that investigators had missed? Every theory created another question. And every question led to another dead end. Some suspects were investigated heavily. Others were ruled out. But nobody was ever convicted. And that's a huge part of what makes this case so frustrating. The killer didn't vanish without leaving anything behind. There was evidence. There were witnesses. There was even a description of the intruder. But none of it was enough. The years passed. Then the decades. And the case slowly became a cold case. Think about that for a second. A young woman was murdered inside her own home. Her family was there. A witness saw the intruder. Police collected physical evidence. Newspapers followed the story. And still, no one was arrested for Valerie's murder. Eventually, the old files were put away. The detectives moved on. New cases replaced the old ones. But Valerie's name stayed inside those files. Waiting. Because an unsolved murder doesn't really disappear. It just gets quieter. And every few years, someone opens the file again. Looking at the same photographs. The same fingerprints. The same statements. The same unanswered questions. Hoping that something everyone missed decades ago might finally make sense. We know Valerie was inside her home. We know an intruder got inside. We know her family was nearby. We know someone saw the killer. We know investigators found physical evidence. But there is one thing we still don't know. Who was he? That's the question this case has carried for decades. And there may be another question hiding behind it. Why Valerie? Was she the target? Or was she simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? We don't have a confirmed answer, and that's where the line between fact and theory matters. Because after almost 60 years, there are still plenty of theories. But theories aren't proof. And until the evidence finally points to one person, Valerie's killer remains unknown. Today, the Percy case remains one of those mysteries that refuses to disappear. Valerie should have had decades ahead of her. Instead, her life ended inside the home where she was supposed to be safe. Her family never got a clear answer. And the person responsible was never brought to justice. Maybe the answer is still buried somewhere in an old file. Maybe someone knows something they never told police. Or maybe the most important clue has been sitting in plain sight all along. We just don't know which one. And that's what makes this case so haunting. Because somewhere in the story, there is a moment when the killer knew exactly what he was doing. Then he walked out of that house, and disappeared. Almost 60 years later, Valerie Percy still has no killer's name attached to her murder. Just an empty space where the answer should be. And one question that still remains: who killed Valerie Percy?